Today I am reviewing the LORAC Pro Contour Palette. It's the same style of packaging as the LORAC Pro eyeshadow palettes, but it does have a really fabulous big mirror. It comes with a little guide as well as a nifty brush, which, I don't know, may or may not be nifty depending on your needs and how well these contouring shades work for you. What I have found is that this seems to be the most pigmented set of contouring powders that I have. Even Smashbox and my e.l.f. kit, these shades just have a lot of color payoff. It's as if you were taking the intensity from one of the LORAC Pro eyeshadow palettes and blending that out on your face. They did not dial back the pigmentation or the intensity of these powders in any way. And I think that can be a good thing and a bad thing because these are face products. These are not the kinds of products that you're necessarily going to want to pack on. It's really nice to see some highlighting shades that have a nice amount of punch to them. I've found in a lot of palettes, you know, the highlight shades, like especially in the Anastasia kit, you know, seem to be just a little too soft and don't quite transfer onto the skin enough. But as far as these go, these are really deep and dark. When I first busted this palette out, I thought, okay, I'll be the medium contour shade, I'm sure. Well, turns out I think I'm the light contour. I think I could use this, but again, I've got to be so light with it. It just seems like the light shade actually transfers onto my skin a little bit deeper than it even appears here in the palette. So I feel like that shade was able to give me some natural definition there, but I still had to be really light with it, particularly if you want to use this brush. I tried to work in this brush that was given in as many ways as I could during the demo so you could really see how it handles the product. The way this brush is cut, it is tapered, shorter bristles on the side and then longer as you get toward the center of the top. And in this little guide, this is useful because they will tell you different methods like how to use the highlight under your eyes, what to do with your cheekbones, your nose, and they'll mention like using the top part of the brush or using the side of the brush. And I find that it's just so dense, you do have to be really careful with the manner in which you use it. And also it's very important to tap off the excess and then tap off more excess. Otherwise, the kinds of brushes I would normally like to use for contouring, the Sigma Small Contours, and then the e.l.f. angled brush would be really nice as well for getting here in the cheekbones. These are my one swipe swatches of the shades in this palette. As you can see, those highlights are just super intense, and the shimmery one, which is the one that's swatched right here, as you can see, it is very white. The shade kind of messed with me a little bit at first because I thought, oh wow, it's a really intense shimmery shade, but then the more I applied it, the more I realized I think I'm actually seeing more white on my skin than I am just shimmer. But in my demo, you can see I tapped into the light contour shade with the brush that's provided, and I gave myself that little, you know, contour line, and then really tried to use that same brush to blend it out. I felt like I was actually applying more pressure than I wanted to be, considering that I had foundation and powder underneath all this that I wasn't really wanting to mess up. So I really could see myself enjoying this shade in the future if I just used, you know, a little bit fluffier brush that was more blending friendly. I also used a little bit of that light shade down the sides of my nose and kind of liked the effect that that particular color gave me. I rarely contour my nose, and that brush, the size of it, seemed to do well in that area. Up around my hairline, I used both the light and the medium, and it's the small contour brush from Sigma that I'm bringing in to just blend that out. Now for the highlight, in the guide, they kind of advise like doing this triangular highlighting method, you know, under the eyes. So I used the beige highlight. I patted that on, again, very satisfied with how much these matte highlights show up. I also used a little bit of shimmer then on top of that, and again, there's a lot of white in this powder. It is very pigmented, but it's not necessarily as shimmery as you would expect. The blush that I pulled in, just wearing it right in here along with this look, is my City Color Be Matte blush in Papaya. I think people with deeper skin tones might try this and be like, finally, you know, some of these shades really pack a punch. But I think a lot of people with light, medium, and medium skin, you know, I don't necessarily need my contouring shades to pack that much of a punch. I'm really pleased with that e.l.f. contour palette. The NYX one works really well for me. I still, of course, like my Smashbox trio of shades. I know reviews like this aren't really the most clear-cut, like, it's a hit or it's a miss, because that it's just not. And I'm not gonna go to one extreme or the other if that's really not where this product falls. I think it lies in the middle for me because it is good quality. I really like the way those matte highlights work, but I think think I'm not gonna get as much good out of the contouring shades because they are so intense. Everybody's gonna have to look at this palette from their own perspective though and say, oh, that's something that really sounds like what I'm looking for, or I think that's gonna be too much for me, it's a no. So I'm just here to provide the info. As always, you use your own best judgment, but thank you for watching and I'll see you guys later. Bye.